Hello everyone, you are watching a fragment of the Countdown program from March 16, 2023. Today is Thursday. See the full version on Patreon. And thanks to everyone who is becoming our patrons right now. Russian leaders have already switched to openly terrorist methods in an attempt to eliminate objectionable politicians abroad. Moreover, figures of the highest rank, the Italian edition of Il Foglio, claims that the former president of Russia, and now the deputy chairman of the Security Council of the Russian Federation, Dmitry Medvedev, ordered the private military company Wagner to kill Italian Defense Minister Guido Crosetto. Moreover, the amount of the transaction is neither more nor less, $15 million. Il Foglio published this information with reference to an Italian intelligence report. The most likely reason for such an order may be the armed assistance that Italy provides to Ukraine. This style of revenge against unwanted officials once again indicates the criminal mafia nature of the Russian regime. Near the Kremlin, the howl of cannibals has already risen. Allegedly, the West has appointed Medvedev as Evil No. 2, who, like the leader of the DPRK, gives orders to eliminate opponents. It is clear that the West intends to once again promote the recognition of the Russian Federation as a state sponsor of terrorism. And, finally, this is a signal to all Russians who travel outside the cave as tourists. Potentially, each of them can be recognized as a Wagner terrorist who came to Milan not for shopping, but for the liquidation of the Italian minister. But even on shaggy bumps, they admit, the reputation of the Kremlin is no longer rolling, but is flying with a whistle somewhere to the underworld. Since the Kremlin's reputation is still a con, it is possible to translate the boy's behavior into the increased grayness mode. Russian ambassador to the United States Anatoly Antonov said that attempts to shoot down Russian aircraft in neutral airspace by the United States would be tantamount to a declaration of war on Russia. Earlier, Senator Lindsey Graham called for attacking Russian aircraft in case of a threat to American devices. Graham's reaction was triggered by an incident with a drone shot down by the Russian Air Force over the Black Sea. Antonov was extremely belligerent. Intentionally attacking a Russian aircraft in neutral airspace is not just a crime under international law, but also an open declaration of war against the largest nuclear power, he said. This boyish sovereignty, demonstrated in any crisis situation, further convinces the West of the Kremlin's motivation for a hot conflict. Putin and his gang are aware that no one in the West perceives them otherwise than as a gang, and this is forever, which nullifies any hope for a long-term survival. The Pentagon also published a video of the Russian attack on an American drone. The footage shows a dangerous Su-27 maneuver, after which a drone worth tens of millions of dollars fell into the Black Sea. Become our patrons now and look further in this program. According to Politico, the offensive of the armed forces of Ukraine will begin in May, and there are two scenarios for this offensive. The Pentagon confirmed that the Russian military is actively searching for the wreckage of the downed drone with the help of ships and aircraft. Perhaps they have already managed to get fragments of the apparatus, the wreckage of which may be at a depth of 1 kilometer. Human rights activists claim that subpoenas to military registration and enlistment offices are already being distributed in 40 regions as part of shadow mobilization. In Novosibirsk, students are sent messages about agendas through their personal account on the university website. A fire broke out in the building of the Border Guard Department of the FSB in the Rostov region. Eyewitnesses report that before the fire started, the sound of an explosion was heard in the building. Inside the cave, a discussion unfolded. What kind of opposition is dearer to the population of the cattle farm? It turned out that respondents equally hate both Venediktov and FBK. Experts versed in the moods of the savages argue that the cave needs new liberal muzzles. Putin met with fascist businessmen as part of the collective responsibility of the lads for their actions. In the atmosphere of the impending Nix, the fat bulls present were told that it was time to share. Gauleiter of the Crimea Sergei Aksyonov proposed to deprive the citizenship of those who do not rise to the Russian anthem. All the paralytics of the cave tensed. And that's all for today. See the full version of the program on the Patreon resource. And thanks to everyone who is becoming our patrons right now. You can also download this video and re-upload it wherever you see fit. This will be a kind of response to the system to the aggravation of pressure on our channel. I hugged everyone. Meet tomorrow on Friday Live. Glory to Ukraine.